Ladies and gentlemen, Fight Bananas presents Coffee and KOs Outside the Octagon. We're crazy about fights and jacked on caffeine.
Ladies and gentlemen,
It's time!
tonight's main event is scheduled for a 30-minute interview. Interviewing out of the right corner, the Coffee N KOs Crew. Being interviewed out of the blue corner, the Ruthless Elle Wagman.
Hey, thanks for joining us today, El.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
So we start off the interview always like this: coffee or no coffee?
Oh, definitely coffee.
Was that a
And-
coffee you were just drinking?
Oh, no. This is a float from Freddy's.
I'll allow it. That's okay.
So Grant told us that when he orders coffee, he makes the girly drinks seem like they're going to you,
Yeah.
but really they're his.
Yeah, so he always gets, what are they called? The ones at Starbucks, the caramel crunch.
Frappuccino or
With they're really good, but it's like there's like whipped cream on the bottom and then caramel and then coffee and then more caramel and then more whipped cream. And I just like cold brew. Like I'm like classic cold brew.
Like black, cold brew black. Oh, okay.
I like
I drink-
the nitro sweet cream, whatever.
Yeah.
I like those.
I feel like only sailors can drink coffee black.
I drink coffee black.
sailors.
All right, sailors and you.
I feel like military men probably drink it black because what are they
That's all
supposed
they
to
can
do?
get, yeah.
Would Grant be, I guess, made fun of by the Glory MMA guys if they saw him at Starbucks and he was getting like a unicorn frappuccino thing?
No. That joke isn't worth getting beat up.
Oh, that's a good point. I always forget like it's actually a UFC fighter, so you actually can't make fun of him.
I wonder what it must be like to like walk around and like know that the average man that like talks shit to you doesn't even like, you can just break that dude in half and he would never even know it. Like then no one's gonna talk shit to you, and if they do, they're just gonna pay the price. Like it must be cool to walk around knowing that you could just kill the dude if you really, really wanted to.
Yeah, I don't know what that's like either. It's nice.
The only weapon that can out trump someone like a UFC fighter is a twisted tea can. Have you seen that? You haven't seen that meme yet?
Oh, the twisted tea. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're an entrepreneur, and I was thinking about this. Would you be open to a nickname change?
Oh, okay. What do you got?
I was thinking like Elle the Entrepreneur Wagman, and that's because when you're in the octagon, you give them the business.
He's all business in the octagon.
Yeah. I feel like that's kind of a cool name because like no one has it. And it almost sounds like at first you're nice. And then when like John Anik has you on Anik and Florian and he's like, so why the entrepreneur? And you say, because I give people the business, or I'm all business in the octagon. And then they're going to be like, shit, that's pretty good.
I don't hate it. We also considered the backpack.
Is it the
Like a
backpack
submission
method?
thing?
The submission thing? Are you good at that?
Yeah, the back is where I like to be.
So you have a roundhouse kick to the head, and you're a backpack submission artist. Like that's the complete fighter right there. You have every viral knockout you can
I
get.
can kick and a rear naked choke. You're set.
That's amazing.
I mean, Damian Maia isn't the best striker, and that man made a living in the UFC, so it's very, very possible.
Oh, for sure. No, Ryan Hall is pretty much just a leg lock and a head kick kind of guy.
He's coming back. He's coming
Ryan
back.
Hall, I have a man crush on Ryan Hall. Like he needs to fight like way more often.
He always looks so sad.
But
Like-
that's what makes him so awesome. Like he looks like he would go into the octagon and get manhandled, and then he just destroys these people, and it's awesome. Like he's everything that I strived to want to be, but I'm not. Like he's just amazing. Like I love, and there's a video of him. a guy was like causing a scene in a pizzeria, and like the guy was much larger than him, and he took him down and just had him in full mount position the entire time till the cops got there. It was incredible.
No, it's pretty great. He seems like a cool guy. He always looks like this.
Yeah,
He does.
All the time.
Yep.
it's okay. We need people like that.
In the UFC.
Yeah, I love it. I love Ryan Hall, and I'm so glad he's finally back. No one wants to fight him because he's a nightmare for people.
He's so awkward to fight too. Like he has such an awkward style. He's weird and long, and he'll throw the most ridiculous stuff on the feet just because he's not afraid of getting taken down. Like
he just worked with Chase Hooper, and we saw the Imanari roll, and he got the heel hook like every single time. Like Ryan Hall is going to do it, and he still somehow gets it done. Like I don't understand how that's possible.
And he avoids the brain damage that Chase Hooper gets, which is really important.
Yes, exactly.
I think it is hysterical how much Glory MMA hates Chase Hooper.
I feel like Grant said the same exact thing that you just said.
There is one very important thing that you have to remember every time you interview all of us. If my friends don't like you, I don't like you. And if
that's
like
totally cool. Well, we don't like him either. Like we are friends of Slippery Pete he's from Lausanne's and stuff up in Massachusetts, and he's a friend of our show, and they just fought, and he destroyed Chase Hooper for 2 rounds, and then Chase Hooper threw up the leg lock, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, so we're an anti-Chase Hooper podcast.
he keeps winning like that, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He needs someone to like knock his head completely off his shoulders, and then it won't happen.
Well, you see the problem. Like there's other fighters, and like I don't want to say names because I know some of them too, but like there's fighters that got into the UFC really young, and I don't think we're ready for it, and you see them struggle with like through their careers because of that. And not even just in the UFC. I feel like Aaron Pico in Bellator is a good example of that too. Like that dude has just been knocked stupid way too many times for as young as he is,
Well, then you have Sage Northcutt was kind of the same thing, and now he's out, and he was like the Bryce Harper of fighting. Like everyone's like, oh, this kid's 16, 17, going to be incredible, and now he's not even in the UFC anymore.
Yeah, dude, he shouldn't even. After what happened to his face in ONE FC, I don't know if he should even fight anymore like that.
Yeah, he got killed.
But if you were offered a UFC shot when you were like 21, 22, would you have just jumped all over that?
Oh, absolutely. So I actually have a story that basically is the same thing. So before I was at Glory, just on a much smaller scale, before I was at Glory, I was in Springfield, Missouri. So I was just an amateur fighter. And my coach at the time was fully prepared for me to fight. So I fight at 105, right? Okay. My coach was fully prepared for me to fight Kay Hansen on Invicta on a week's notice for my pro debut.
Wow.
So I had just met Grant. Like Grant and I had just started dating, and he's like, how about we don't do that? Just, one idea. And I didn't, thank God, because I probably would be like 0-3 as a pro right now. Like I would have gotten fed to her, fed to somebody else in a weight class I shouldn't have even been fighting in a promotion I wasn't ready for. And it's not like, and I was all for it too. Like Grant and James Krause are the only reason I didn't take that fight. So, and it took me another couple years. I had some knee surgeries and whatnot slowing me down, but it took me another couple years to go pro, but it was worth the wait. I'm really glad we took our time. Like it's so important. People don't realize you have to be developed as a fighter. Like you can't just be like there's people out there that are like, oh, you're not a real fighter if you don't take every fight in every weight class. And I'm like, I promise you, anybody that tells you that has a shit record.
Yep.
I think that there's 2 ways to get to the UFC. There's prospect, and then there's food. Like they just want to feed you to the prospect or to, and then you're like, if you're the food, you're 1-2 fights and then you're out. So it's kind of like a tough situation.
I feel like we don't see that as much anymore. I feel like one of the last food scenarios we saw is the guy that they brought in to get beat up by CM Punk, who still beat up CM Punk.
Mickey Gall, was it Mickey Gall?
No. I can't remember his name. Like he had a terrible pro record. It was the guy who beat him after Mickey Gall, and he was clearly brought in just for CM Punk to beat up, and he couldn't even beat him. So Yeah, it was. I feel like that doesn't happen as much. Like there's short notice guys. I feel like it's not so much food as it is short notice guys. But Kevin Croom's a perfect example of this. Like people were calling him food, but he was just a short notice guy. But he absolutely belongs in the UFC. You know,
Oh, 100%.
you know,
And he's
Look at
absolutely
him.
way more well-rounded than Roosevelt Roberts. Like I don't. If you actually look at styles and records, like Kevin Croom was way more superior than what Roosevelt Roberts is.
and he's fought everybody, and he is he's one of the exceptions to the rule. They don't make people like Croom anymore. I swear, like he's one of the exceptions to that. Fight anybody at any time, but he's a good example of that as well because it took him a while to get into the UFC, even though he should have already been there, just because he had to rebuild a record that had been, he'd been fed to guys in Japan, Russia, like, he was fighting all over the world as the underdog.
Yeah, I feel like we saw that. It's like Kevin Croom. We talked to Minner. It was the same thing with him. Slippery Pete, who we have on after this. But like all these guys had like 30 plus pro fights under their belt. Then they go against some of these like younger guys and they smoke them. And you're like, yeah, because the other guy fought like 6 times in his life. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Some of the best betting advice that we do on our show is like, if you have a guy that has like 30 fights facing like some sort of kid that's like got 10 fights to his record, even though he's 10-0, like you always go with the guy that has like 30 something fights because he's been around the block and he's probably going to win you some money.
Yeah, no, it happens. It for sure does. Like these veterans, and I think you see it on both sides. Like because now in the sport now, you see a lot less people taking that longer road where they fight whoever, whenever, whatever weight class, because they've started to figure out that you don't actually have to do that. And it's a faster, easier road to the bigger shows if you don't do that and you are developed properly, fight people you're ready for at that level and, build a good record. So I feel like we do see it less now, but that's how it used to be for everybody.
So I do have to ask one question that's not really UFC or fight related, but is there anything you can't do? Because I was on Grant's Instagram and I saw you singing too, like singing well. Like how does it feel to be able to just be good at things?
I'm not good at everything, I promise.
And you're a nutritionist. Like that, I can't sing. I eat terribly. Carrie eats terribly.
I mean, that's not an inherent skill.
It is. You have to be able to say no. Like you got to say, okay, these Doritos look great, but no, I'm not.
Zach,
okay.
You can do that. You can do that, Zach. I believe in you.
You don't know me.
I've known him
do that.
for over 10 years. He cannot do that. He's completely incapable.
And then you have people like
What?
Are those French fries?
No, they're cheese curds.
Oh, that's not something a nutritionist would eat, is it?
Literally just fried cheese.
We're talking about like all the things in the nutritionist, and she's just snacking on cheese curds.
Well, then there's people like my wife who eats like McDonald's every day, and she's had 2 children, and she's got a 6-pack, and I'm like, how do you do that?
Yeah. Yep, that's my.
And she doesn't work out. She doesn't work out. I'm like, this is not fair.
Train pretty hard. I feel like it makes sense, but yeah, no, that's him.
It's just not fair.
So
Real sad.
Speaking about being an entrepreneur, so tell us a little bit about that. Do you have a side business that you're running right now? And is that like a full-time thing you're doing with training or how's that going?
So, it's kind of a little crazy right now. I have like 6 part-time jobs right now.
Wow.
But I started a nutrition company with actually one of my teammates and friends a few years ago. And we did that up until the pandemic. When the pandemic hit, all the kids, like our kitchen closed down. It was just, everything was kind of up in the air. And I was getting really close to my pro debut as well. And I don't know if you've ever tried to do meal prep for people, but it's terrible. And it's literally impossible to take any time off. So like anytime I had a fight or I wanted to travel to do my camp somewhere, or, train out of town, it was so hard to juggle both the business and that, just because with meal prep, people expect it every week and people rely on it. And if you miss 1 week, you lose customers. So it was something I really had to do on my own. And we got to a point I was about to have my pro debut. It just made sense to stop doing that. So I don't do the meal prep anymore, but I still do like online training, online nutrition, which I really enjoy. My passion project is young fighters. All of our guys at the gym that, you talk to Mo and his spicy chickens from Quick Trip.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to take some of these younger guys under my wing, teach them how to eat, teach them how to which supplements they should be taking, just how to take care of themselves and on the nutrition side. So I'm kind of moving more towards that, just that group of people. I just really enjoy helping athletes.
So you have 2 minutes. Teach me how to eat good. Or
Okay.
eat well.
Easy. Okay. So the number one thing that you have to remember is it's super important to eat protein. Your body is always in one of two states. You're either anabolic or you're catabolic. So when you're anabolic, you are building muscle tissue and you are tearing down fat. That's where you want to be, right? When you're catabolic, you are tearing down muscle tissue and you are storing fat. So in an ideal world, if we're all typically, for the most part, trying to lose body fat, gain muscle. That's how we look better, right? So if you want to stay in that anabolic state, you need about 25 grams of animal-based protein every 3 to 4 hours throughout the day. That's about a palm-sized portion of protein. So like palm-sized portion of chicken, palm-sized portion of ham, palm-sized portion of egg whites, etc. Whatever you're going to choose. If you pair that with a fist-sized portion of carbs or fats, either or, not both, each meal every 3 to 4 hours, you can eat very, very well.
Now, what about intermittent fasting? Is that a good or bad?
It just doesn't. Okay.
Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me.
Listen,
good. It's that it's not necessary. So there's nothing in intermittent fasting that magically makes it better for you. It doesn't burn more calories. There have been multiple studies on this. One study showed that it actually helped lower blood glucose levels by like 0.00001%, some ridiculously insignificant number. And so everybody's like, oh, it cures diabetes now. So it's not going to magically, autophagy is not a real thing. There is a doctor out there who I don't think still has a medical license, but you never know, who claims that there is this thing called autophagy that intermittent fasting does for you. We've been dissecting cadavers for thousands of years. We have been studying anatomy for thousands of years. Somehow, this just hasn't occurred to anybody else. That doesn't really make sense. It's the same thing with the alkaline diet. There's this where they're like, oh, there's alkaline ash in your body. It's like, we haven't found it. We've been dissecting dead bodies for thousands of years. We've never seen this alkaline ash that you speak of. It doesn't exist, is my point. Now, on the other end of that, if it makes sense for you and it helps you lower calories, because if you are in a calorie deficit, you're going to lose weight. Whether you're keto, paleo, intermittent fasting, eating 6 small meals a day, as long as you are burning more calories than you take in, you're going to lose weight. If it is easier for you to eat less calories using an intermittent fasting setup, that's perfectly fine. It's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt you. However,
it doesn't work for you.
Also not helping you more than if you were to wake up, stimulate your metabolism, and start eating, every 3 to 4 hours.
You know what the problem is?
So here's the thing. So I actually got my degree in exercise science. I've known Zach. I've known Zach for a long time. He's gotten into.
I was in great shape, but when you have children, it messes everything up. That's all I gotta say.
But what I'm getting at is he's tried some fad diets. He tried to do keto. Sorry, our camera froze here.
No worries.
Just keep going.
We can hear you.
But he's at the point now where he doesn't eat anything at all. He'll drink coffee and then he'll just eat something. I'm telling you, man, you gotta eat throughout the day. Otherwise, it's not working.
I'm going to do a thing for you real quick. Okay, so remember the anabolic, catabolic thing I was telling you about earlier?
Am I gonna? You can draw too. You're gonna draw. This is ridiculous.
Is there gonna be a quiz on this?
I'm gonna make you a little graph. There will be a quiz at the end.
Do you want to know what's funny? Is I'm actually a phys ed teacher. On the set, like that's my regular job. This is just a kind of a side hustle. But yeah, I don't teach any of this.
Definitely the back of really important tax documents. No worries. Yeah. So your catabolic state.
Yeah, I hope there's not a test because
Take
wasn't
notes,
the
Zach.
best.
You're supposed to take notes right now.
Wasn't the best student.
This is your body. Can you see it? Okay.
Okay.
In the camera. Okay.
Yeah, I can see it.
You want to be above the line, right? 25 grams of animal-based protein, about 25, it depends on the person, but just generalizing number, looks like this. So why would you not eat in the morning? Because
Good
if
point.
you eat in the morning, you are
Underneath that.
down here where you're storing body fat.
I am good at that.
My cardio doesn't necessarily make sense. It's not that fasted cardio makes sense if you're trying to lose physical weight. Like if you're cutting weight for a fight, fasted cardio makes sense because at that point you're tearing down the muscle tissue. You're not actually burning stored fat. That's not really how it works.
And maybe this is where I went wrong. I never drew my graph.
I'm a visual learner. That's what happens.
I guess that's where I went wrong.
So I worked for this company called Supplement Superstores for like 4 years. It's one of the most amazing groups of people I've ever been around. I still shop there all the time. Anyway, one of my managers when I first started there drew me that graph, and I was like, "Oh my god, this changes everything." So
it makes so much sense. It's so easy to read.
I have a nutrition question. What is one food that a lot of people think is bad, but is actually really good?
That's such a weird question because I don't think food isn't bad. Like,
no, it's amazing.
I do have one. Artificial sweeteners are not.
Oh, yeah, no.
They don't cause cancer.
Oh.
There was one study one time with a bunch of rats. This was in like the 90s, maybe early 2000s. It was a long time ago. Anyway, they pumped the rats full of aspartame, and the rats with aspartame got brain cancer. Guess what the dosage was? It would be the equivalent of you drinking about 14 gallons of diet soda every day.
There you go.
I mean, sounds like your wife.
Yeah.
Too much of anything is bad, but anything in moderation is fine. Like I am literally drinking a root beer float and eating fried cheese. So
yeah, but I think the difference is then you'll go work that off then in your next training session.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try to eat better. I'm gonna make a steak for dinner. You know, like I won't be an asshole for the rest of the day. You know.
So you're only the second woman on our show. We've been like trying to broaden this out a little bit because, you know, women are fighters too. Like we are a big Laura Sanko. Like we have advocated for Laura Sanko to be on the broadcast along Anik and all them because
you should just hear her. She's so great.
Yeah, she's literally more knowledge. Honestly, I enjoy her more than Joe Rogan. Like I feel like Joe Rogan is kind of, and we did a poll, like he's kind of being phased out. Like you'd rather listen to DC or Felder or guys that have been in the octagon rather than someone who, and I love Joe Rogan, but like he has never fought in the octagon. I would rather have someone who's knowledgeable, and she's been in there before.
Yes, and yeah, dude, I rolled with her. She's amazing. I freaking love Laura. But Joe Rogan, like you have to give him some credit. Like he is a black belt. He is an accomplished martial artist. He does.
Yeah, he is.
He has decent fight IQ. You know, for a guy who's never fought, like he still has that fight IQ. I feel like he's way better than Bisping. Who?
Oh, I love Bisping.
Oh, man.
He makes me laugh. We're a Bisping guy.
Comic relief.
But he says a lot of really ridiculous things.
Yeah, I'm biased because I just love Bisping because he's hysterical. So I feel like I need that on the show. But anyway, what do we say? Like, so we send out messages to get people on the show. Like, give us some tips. How do we reach out to women so they're not like, I don't want to join this weird podcast? Like,
I don't know about Laura because
she's busy.
I was gonna say, I feel like her DMs are pretty full.
Yeah, I don't mean her. Like she's busy. Like obviously Megan Anderson's there. She's like, those are all people are busy.
I feel like if you honestly, if you were to reach out to female fighters around where amateurs or like new pros like me, like we really, really want to be on podcasts. Like nobody calls us. Like I promise you, if you message like the girls on my Instagram friends list, like they'll probably do it. Like there's a lot of cool people there. I don't think they'd be weirded out. I get really excited when I get to be on any podcast or.
Glory MMA has been the best. Like it's been New England Cartel and Lozon's, and well, you guys have now surpassed them. Like we've had I feel like almost not the whole gym, but a ton of people from Glory on our show. So Glory is now in the driver's seat, Steve. I'm just letting you know, buddy.
I mean, I can't say no to New England Cartel. I mean, I'll put him at like a 50-50 split right now. I'm from Boston, so I can't.
We stole a Boston guy. He's down here now with us.
Who do you have?
Oh my gosh, I feel so bad. I don't know his last name. His name's Don, and he's super cool. He's actually staying with Sean and all those guys.
Oh, really?
Oh, he's gonna be fighting for Dr. Pepper. He's gonna be fighting them for Dr. Pepper.
I feel like he's resisting the Dr. Pepper at this point, but he's not there yet. He came down from Boston. Really cool guy.
But he just didn't like New England Cartel or Lozon's, or he just.
I know he said he trained with Lozon some. I don't know if that's where he is full time. I've literally known this guy for 3 days.
Okay, I won't ask too many questions.
Quiz me on him.
Okay.
You got to get us the scoop. What are you doing? Let's go.
Guy. But yeah, he's down here now. He just didn't have the bodies that he needed. He came down, which is cool.
Okay.
Everybody's been coming in. James Gallagher's at the gym now. Minner, obviously. Talk to him. It's really cool to see the gym grow. We had some oldies come back from Vegas, like Tim Elliott, Julian Marquez.
Yeah, we're hoping to get Tim on hopefully soon. Grant said he would try to put in a good word for us.
So much fun with Tim. He's one of the coolest people ever.
Oh, I bet. Also, so I feel like we just completely ignored this the whole time, but you're wearing a Cameron Cash t-shirt.
Yeah.
I noticed that earlier, but I didn't say anything.
Yeah, I wanted to bring it up. Like, does everyone have their own t-shirts? You guys just rep each other the whole time?
Well, Cam made these for his last fight, and it was funny because he fought the night before Mo, and Mo walked out in Cam's shirt, and I was working the cage side, and I saw Mo walking out, and I look up to where Cam's sitting, and he's so excited. He was like jumping up and down in his seat filming it.
So one of your first off shirts, we actually are sending a shirt to you guys. Sorry, our camera keeps cutting out. We're sending a couple shirts. So you and Grant are gonna have your own, and then we're sending 2 more for everyone at Glory to sign. One's gonna get raffled off. One's gonna be put in our studio. So make sure you sign that.
Cool.
But there is a post that you made about asking someone to pick your walkout song. Would you be open? I don't know what I would pick right now. I'd have to do some research, but I've been lobbying for someone to let me pick their walkout song. If you do an interview and someone says, "Where did you get that walkout song?" I want you to be like Coffee N KOs. You got to check them out.
You guys out for sure. It has to be cool though. And I do abide by the Kevin Kroom rule that your walkout song should never be harder than you are.
Oh, okay.
I'm with that. That's why he's over here walking out to like Run Around Sue and stuff like that, and Whitney Houston.
Okay, listen, but Kevin Kroom is like a once in a generation person. Like he is just
unique.
There's never going to be another Kevin Kroom to walk this earth. Like he is the most unique individual I've ever met in my life, and he was like one of the best interviews. Like he was just so much fun and just hysterical.
He's such a great person, man.
So we had
the Electric Light Orchestra for my last fight. I walked out to Do Ya.
Okay, all right. So what music are you into? Like, is it rap or what's gonna get you hyped up? So I know if I'm gonna do some research, like I know what to choose.
I've walked out to a lot. I've walked out to a lot of different stuff. I really love music. But I like a lot.
We know you sing.
I like a lot of old stuff. Like 70s, 80s rock is like a really big part of my childhood. It's what my mom always listened to. So like I like that. That was why I walked out to ELO. It's one of my favorite songs. But I've also walked out to Machine Gun Kelly before. I walked out to that song "Kill of the Night." I heard it in like a commercial one time. That song, "You're My Kill of the Night." That song. Walked out to that one time.
All right.
Can't really think of what else. Imagine Dragons. I walked out to them. So I don't know.
So basically, you're open to like pretty much anything. We can just give you like a list of like 3 or 4.
Yeah, for sure. Like mix up the genres a little bit. Yeah.
I think you'll be in good hands with Zach because he's also into MMA. He's a mixed musical artist.
Yes.
So he's into the music.
I can't sing, but like when it comes to music, like I love my phone is from Frank Sinatra to Biggie to just it's all over the place. That's my
Spotify is pretty bipolar. I'm with you there.
all right, so we have one last segment that we do with all our guests. It's called the Significant Strike segment. We have our wives, Steve's soon-to-be wife, formulate questions, and then we ask all three of them, and then you answer them and tell us which one is the best. But they don't do any research. They have no idea who you are or who Grant. What they don't watch MMA, so they have no idea.
All right.
All right. First question. What is something that everyone looks stupid doing?
Oh gosh. TikTok videos.
You're not
Agreed.
wrong. I like that.
Agreed.
That was a very quick answer. I was expecting that one to take a little bit. But that's hilarious because that's a great one. How do you think dogs feel that their owners hover over them as they go to the bathroom?
I mean, my dog hovers over me when I go to the bathroom. I feel like it's pretty fair.
So, do you think they feel weird? I don't know.
He thinks it's normal. That's probably why he does it to me. Like we have a pig. He's got this big old head. He'll come and stick his head right in your lap while you're taking a poop in the morning.
I saw that your dog actually looks kind of. I have a puppy who's a boxer and a lab mix, and he almost looks like a smaller version of what your dog is. Like he looks like he's gonna grow up to look like your dog. He's even got like a white patch on his chest.
That's how, yeah.
And everything.
Yeah.
So
we have another puppy too. So.
Oh wow, yeah. Our first, we were waiting for my son to get a little bit bigger and get a house, but yeah, we just got him in December. And then the last one, what is your dream vacation?
Oh, okay. I got a few. Let me pick one. Probably Iceland in November. It's very specific. I've done a lot of research. There's these like ice caves there, and they melt and refreeze every year, so they look different every year. Like you see something that nobody's ever seen before and will never see again, and they look like they're made out of like gems. It's really incredible. So I want to go see those, and the Northern Lights are supposed to look the best in November. So.
Well, I feel like you, like as a fighter, like you guys travel a lot. Like you have the ability to go to some crazy places, like vacation wise.
Not really. Like when you're there fighting, you're not on vacation. You don't want to do anything afterwards. You can't do anything before. So we kind of made the mistake after Grant fought in Abu Dhabi, and he was out there for Tim's fight before that. So he was in Abu Dhabi for like 3 weeks, where it's like 110 degrees. All he could do was sit by the pool because they can't go out and explore the city because we're all shut down, quarantined. So he was there for 3 weeks. He got back. We were here for 4 days, and then we left for Cancun, where it was also 100 degrees, and all there was to do was buy a pool. So yeah, I feel like it's best to separate those out. Like after a few days, he was just drained, wanted to be back home. So it's different traveling on either end, you know.
All right, so that was the 3 questions. Pick which one you thought was the best, and then we'll reveal whose wife asked what question.
Definitely stupid doing.
What do most people look stupid doing? That was my wife again. My wife, I must be on like a 6 interview win streak. This is incredible.
I'm sorry.
This is ridiculous.
It's my, you want to know what it is? Like my wife is just like she's super into TikTok. Like she loves the app. Like she's like, I would say almost like a hipster. So she just like has this like out of the box thinking and just asks like these ridiculously weird questions.
Be honest. Is what is your dream vacation? Is that a basic question? I think I need to step the game up a little bit.
A little, but it's also like I feel like you could get some really cool answers, and then you could get some really boring people. You know, they're like,
True.
Let's go to the beach. You know.
We were supposed to do another interview after this, but things happen, and my wife wanted to ask the next question was, is a hot dog a sandwich?
I don't know. Is it? I
Technically, it's got two
Yes.
pieces of bread on.
Sandwich.
Well, like if you say like a sauce, you're gonna have a sausage sandwich, a hot dog sauce. I mean, it's pretty similar.
It's not a sandwich. It's its own thing. A hamburger is a sandwich. It's one slice of bread. Like, you know,
What is the definition of a sandwich? That's what it comes down to here.
between two separate entities. Like,
So
Well, what if you cut the hot dog bun in half?
I was gonna
and just-
say sometimes the hot
Yeah, it
dog bun
rips.
rips.
but then it's just a broken hot dog. I guess you can make it.
Nobody wants a broken hot dog.
You know, you eat a sandwich like this. Like you eat a sandwich like this. You don't eat a sandwich like this.
well,
Depends how
sausage
big, right?
sandwich.
Maybe.
Taco sandwich? Is a taco a sandwich?
Oh, that's kind of the same thing,
Oh,
right?
That's
Not.
This is
not.
a great debate. We're going down a black hole. Is the Earth flat? Like we could get into a lot of things here.
oh
Yeah, my little brother joined the Flat Earthers Society on Facebook and just started.
no.
And eventually they removed him, but he got away with it for a couple months.
I was gonna say if he was
Hopefully
being
as a spy, I was gonna say.
yeah, if he was being serious, I was gonna ask you if you threw him in an arm bar to knock some sense into him.
He was just trolling people.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, we had another friend of the show, Jay Perrin, who's from Massachusetts, and he loves to troll people. He thinks it's the greatest thing. So I can respect that. All right.
I had
Go ahead,
one
Steve.
more.
Go ahead.
What does date night look like between two fighters?
Sometimes we try to go places.
Like in a no COVID, like on a normal Earth.
Oh no, even still, like okay. So we really like movies. We're both huge nerds. We're super into Star Wars, Marvel, any comic book movies. So like we would like when all the Avengers movies were coming out, all the Marvel movies were coming out. We go to the movie theater, and we usually just do date night movies and then come back to the house. And now we just do that here because we're even lazier. But
If I said the Mandalorian was overrated, you would say
they're insane. Like the
Thank
Mandalorian
you.
is Star Wars for people who don't even like Star Wars. Like you don't even have to get Star Wars to appreciate the Mandalorian.
I feel like it wasn't really that exciting, and it also just didn't have a villain until like the very last episode. It felt like a video game where it was like it felt like a video game where it was just a bunch of side missions and there was like no real plot at all.
The Empire is back. How is that? And Moff Gideon was great. I love that actor too. The actor that plays Moff Gideon's amazing.
Yeah, he was in Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say we watched Breaking Bad not too long ago. He's great in that too.
Oh yeah.
He's also a villain in The Boys.
Yes.
Which is also
Oh,
a TV show. We haven't finished it yet. So don't.
The
Sick. No
Boys
spoilers,
is
no spoilers.
ridiculous.
Oh,
So
good.
good. I just finished it like last week. So good.
So good.
I think we're just at the beginning of the second season. So we're probably
Oh,
that's honestly
incredible.
probably what date night's gonna be tonight. Like we're
There
gonna
you go.
stay on the
You-
couch and watch the
You've
Boys.
basically had to become one of the boys. Like the boys are they just always at the house? Because I know like
Yeah.
I'm at Carrie's house right now. Like I'm at Carrie's house probably more than I'm at my own house, and I have kids and a wife. But like I'm here anyway. Like it's just always the boys. So you basically just had to become one of them.
Yeah, I don't think I've really become one of the boys. I've pretty much just become everyone's mom. Like
Well, we heard that you cook for them.
I'm basically Cam's mom. Yeah. I like to make a lot of their fight week food. Mo doesn't eat, so I pack him up vitamins and protein every morning. Yeah. Sean sends me his social media stuff for me to edit for him sometimes. Yeah, I'm just pretty much mom at this point.
Now, I forgot to say, this happens to me a lot. My brain is not good.
You know why? Because you don't eat enough.
Fasting.
No, I haven't been fasting. I ate.
You don't eat
I had chicken and brown rice. That's kind of my go-to. I eat that like every single day. I don't know what it is, but I just enjoy it. It's
That's
good.
healthy.
Chicken and brown rice.
Oh, I know it.
Chicken and rice, but you enjoy it.
I do, yeah.
Fun for you. Okay.
That I remember what I was gonna say. We were actually talking about, since we've gotten so close with Glory MMA, and we talked like to Grant, and he's like, yeah, I'm not really a good athlete. I'm just a good fighter. Like he's not good at anything else. So we thought that Coffee and KOs would come down to Glory one day, and we would have, because we're also presented by Fight Bananas, which they're like the big podcast. We're like a little podcast in their big brand, we would all come down to Glory MMA and we would have a podcast versus Glory MMA Olympics.
That sounds amazing. Oh,
Yep.
it could be like the Office Olympics.
Yes,
Yes.
like well, we're gonna be doing like basketball, ping pong,
Flag football,
flag football. We could do chess.
wiffle ball.
Ooh, I will play some chess. I'm
We
not
gotta
an
do-
athlete either. Like wiffle ball and like dot. No, I don't. I
So-
can't play volleyball.
We might have the upper hand, Steve. Like we
I
might,
think we
because
got
like
it.
I could throw a ball, I could catch a ball, but there was one stipulation: no fighting or no wrestling. Because
No, there has to
that-
be. We do something you're good at. We have to do something.
but
Thumb wrestling. Thumb wrestling.
Thumb wrestling, yes, thumb wrestling. That's
Thumb wrestling.
Thumbs. That's not fair.
We need to
that's
sign like a waiver or something.
Like, have you ever seen like you know what happens when I thumb wrestle people? It looks like this. It's like this is my and this is everybody else's.
I think that we need to make that happen. I think that would make for a great YouTube video, and I think people would love it. And it'd be like a good promo for Glory MMA because you guys have been by far like the best gym. It's been so much fun since we've been interviewing everyone. We actually have Jason Witt coming on Monday too,
Yep.
so we're super excited.
I mean, if you ask me, everybody's awesome. Everybody's so great there.
And we talked to Grant. We got to have a couples episode where both of you guys come on our show and we do a nice show that way.
It should all be questions like the sandwich one. Like just
Yeah, I listen. I'm all for it.
and we
Can it-
can't gang up on you about the Mandalorian.
Can we do like a the boys like recap episode, like a review or something? I'd love that.
Absolutely.
I think that we should do it. That'd be great.
I'm with it.
All right. Well, do you have any questions for us?
Oh, nobody ever asked me that.
Oh.
I don't know. What's with why do you guys like coffee so much? Like
I'm addicted, straight up. I have a problem.
I don't drink coffee at all.
You know what's funny is like I never drank coffee, and then you kind of get to college, and when you're staying up late to write papers, or you get up early to go to the library, you're like, okay, I need something to pick me up. And I like energy drinks, but coffee is better for you. Like it's not. I feel like it's not as bad for you. So and then and then I'm like also a teacher, and then you're getting up early and going to school. So then it just was something that just kind of naturally took part. Like it wasn't something that like seeked out to use. It's just kind of like, okay, like this kind of makes me feel better in the morning when I drink it. So, but yeah, now I love it. And unfortunately we still don't have a coffee sponsorship, but it's going to happen.
you need
It's
to
going to
like,
happen.
change the logo so he's like holding a coffee cup or shape it. I don't know. Maybe make it a coffee bean. I don't know. Something.
Not a bad idea.
We are in the process. Like we've only been doing this for 6 months, and it's kind of grown like much bigger, like very fast. So we're still like in the process of fixing things, like getting a camera that doesn't constantly
out.
freeze, and like, you know, we're slowly, well, actually quickly moving, because like we like Fight Bananas, that just happened like the last month. It's just kind of all been like going really, really quick. So we said to Sean, podcasting is a lot like fighting. You got to grind, and then you know you find till you make it, and then when you make it, it becomes easy.
Grind like coffee beans.
Exactly.
No, that's cool. No, you guys have been a blast. This is one of the most fun interviews I've done.
Awesome. We
That's
love to hear
amazing.
that. All right, Carrie,
Take us
out.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Coffee N KOs Crew has called an end to this interview, declaring the winner by head kick knockout, the Ruthless Elle Wagman.
Hey, thanks again for joining us, Elle. We had a blast. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this interview, don't forget to hit that follow button. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram, both at Coffee N KOs 1. This was Coffee N KOs Outside the Octagon, and we'll see you next time.